Hey everybody, Kyle Meinke from MLive.com, joined by Nate Atkins, wrapping up our positional reviews today. Specialists are people too, Nate, and we'd be remiss if we overlooked them, especially with how good they were for the Lions. I mean, Sam Martin was incredible as a punter. Matt Prater was reliable, hit 6 game-winning or game-tying field goals in the final 4 minutes this year. Andre Roberts returned a couple of punts for touchdowns. I mean, on and on. The Lions had very special teams. The big question here, I guess, is why do you think they were so good? I mean, there were some struggles in previous years. Why were they so good this year on special teams?
Yeah, I think this is one of the more overlooked areas that Bob Quinn improved this roster on. Part of that's improving the 53-man and having better depth in the coverage units, which were outstanding. But he went right after this. This was not a mirage. This was not fluky. He went after Johnson Badamosi, who was the most expensive special teams ace in the NFL this year, and he went after him to try and solidify the coverage group. He went after Andre Roberts, on a cheaper deal, but that really helped the return unit. He tied the league lead in punt return touchdowns. So he kind of looked at that area and said, we're not going to overlook special teams. We're not going to assume it just works. We're going to make this a focal point, and it worked.
Yeah, he extended Sam Martin. Matt Prater was signed a couple of off seasons ago. I mean, the Lions have spent some major money on special teams, and I think that's what you're seeing is the investment. You're seeing a payoff on the investment. And I think to the punt team, and maybe I'm just a geek, but I really enjoyed at games just watching the punt team work because they were one of the best in the league. Sam Martin had the 3rd best punting season in the history of the NFL. I mean, Johnny Hecker's the only guy who's ever had a better season than Sam Martin. And what we're seeing is nearly historic. It certainly is for the Lions. And he has a big leg, but that's not enough. You see guys around the league with big legs, but they don't know how to control the football, which Sam does at this point. But very few, if any team has as talented as gunners as the Lions do. And I was talking to Joe Marciano late in the season about this, and he's like, listen, like, Sam's a great punter and everything, but if you really want a treat on special teams, watch Don Carey try to break a special team on special teams, and it's amazing because how often he can do it. I think it really says a lot that in the player voting for Special Teams Player of the Year, it wasn't Sam Martin, who had the 3rd greatest punting season ever, and it wasn't Matt Prater, who had all these game-winning kicks and the most 50-yard kicks in the league and all that stuff. It was Don Carey, the gunner. I mean, that's how good this guy is. And then you mentioned Johnson Badamosi. They signed that guy to a lot of, it's a lot of money for a special teams player, but he's nearly as good as Don, if not as good. And you have 2 guys like that on the outside who can go shag every punt that Sam Martin kicks, and that's why the Lions were able to flip field position as well as they were able to.
Yeah. Don Carey was great all year. It made me wonder why he barely played any special team snaps in that wild card game. But they were outstanding all season long. And you can't talking about Matt Prater, too, in the big moments to make all the clutch kicks and also let the coaching staff know you'll have to get in a certain range. You can manage a game that way to win it. You think of where they would be if he doesn't hit a 58-yarder and the different stuff he did. So it was something.
The Lions struggled to move the ball offensively. They struggled to stop teams defensively. In a season like that, being able to flip the field position as well as the Lions were able to, and to hit the field goals they were able to when they weren't able to punch it in the red zone was certainly a big reason for why they were as successful as they were.
Yeah.
For Nate, I'm Kyle. I'm live. Keep it right here.